You know, sometimes I think about this. It's like maybe God is a bit like us, where, you know, if somebody loves you, right, but they claim that they will only love you if you have this, or they get this, or they get that. My natural instinct would be to remove that from them, because then I would be like, well, since it's conditional, let's see what happens if not. You know, it's kind of a natural response to things. It's kind of like, well, you know, okay, so you only love me for this. Well, let me take it away and see what happens. Like, let's see how you behave now. And will you still remain the same? Will you still be grateful? Blah blah blah. And you know, in life sometimes we can like, it's like we don't understand why is something not happening. You might think to yourself, how come I can't get this or that? How come I can't seem to accomplish these things that maybe other people do? That And you don't seem to understand why how come it doesn't happen. And here's a plausible explanation: is that, are you able to remain yourself even if you don't get that? You know, like, will you still be you if you don't get the outcome you want? Will you still be you and true to yourself if you don't get the money, if you don't get the house, if you don't get the girlfriend, if you don't get the kids? You know, will you still be grateful? Like, will you still be everything that, you know, you can be, even if you don't? Will you still be showing up and being part of everything? Because some people don't, you know. Some people take their life because they don't have money. Some people take their life because they don't have this, that, the other. No love, no reassurance, no company around them, right? Because they feel lonely. And I could definitely see how that could be seen as ungrateful, because, to be honest, that's how I would be as well. I would be like, well, okay, well, because I didn't give you this, but you had everything else, you turned on me, or you decided that, you know, you don't want to deal with this anymore. Say, okay, then leave, you know. And so I think sometimes maybe it's a test. It's a test. And if you look at it as a test, you can look at it as an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for strength, an opportunity to you know, have more resilience in life and to not be dependent on these things. Because some people need money to be who they are. Some people need you know, muscle. Some people need um, XYZ, a car, something like that. But if you could just be you without those things, if you can just stand in whatever discomfort it creates for you to not have X, Y, or Z, then you're that much closer to first of all understanding who is it that you are, and second of all, the strength to actually go through life without needing these things. Because when you're gonna need these things, you're always gonna be at the mercy of them. Anybody that has it can take control of you. Anybody that, like, you know, we can be controlled from, pretty much, right? And in my life, there's a lot of times where this exact mindset came into play, right? Maybe you didn't get love, or maybe you didn't get money like you wanted, or maybe XYZ, but you still slept somewhere, you still had a roof over your head, you still, you know, you still had parents if you're fortunate, you know, you still had, if you're, you know, blessed, if you still had a couple friends, you had people at work that were nice to you, you had people outside that smiled at you. And that's when you have a choice. You have a choice to look at one part, which is what you have, right? It's like, look at this day, for example. You know, how nice it is. I'm having a Tim Hortons, like, iced coffee, like, you know. So it's like, if you look at the good, then you have a choice to make. But where you're gonna aim your attention is gonna change everything. You could look at the dark and you could be like, oh, I didn't get this, blah blah blah. You could be that person, you know. But I think that makes you ungrateful. And so, yeah, I hope maybe like this works for somebody else out there too. Maybe somebody that, basically, we all go through, you know, some type of lack of something, you know, because that's what life is about. You go on a quest to fulfill these things. Um, but, you know, these things don't necessarily have to come from other people, right? Like love, you don't have to wait for the people to give it to you. You could give love to people, and then you still live in a world where it exists. I have another video about this. But when it comes to things like, things that are like objects, you want a Lamborghini, you want a Ferrari, you want this amount of money, you want a girlfriend, you want whatever, right? You're gonna find yourself in moments where you don't have it. And say, okay, well, can you be you without it, right? Just like food, can you be yourself without food? That's what you experience through fasting. And yeah, I hope this helps you like it helped me. And I hope that if you adopt this way of looking at things, right, you can go through life with so much less misery than to actually like go through it without, and be like, oh, like, how come they have this and I don't have this? How come they have that and I don't have this? It's so unfair. I must be like retarded, like, I must be like wrong or bad. And but you're not. Maybe this is exactly why it's happening. And so yeah, resilience is, I guess, key to this. And when it comes to where do you aim your attention and where do you aim all your efforts, always control what you can control and let go of what you can't. And you should be able to let go of pretty much everything, because you have to. Like, you have to let it go, otherwise you're just going to suffer. So you can let go of the things that you can't, but you can focus on the things that you can control and just do your best, right? And the act of faith is to actually do them with the outcome in mind, without letting that outcome become everything for us. Let's not be a slave to these things. And so you can control, like I said in the other video, but it comes back. You can control what you eat. You can control when you wake up. You can control, what do you choose to do with your time. And if you do them in ways that bring you closer to yourself, closer to a sense of self, even, you could actually reinforce that dynamic between you and who you are. And by being closer to it, you can be less diluted. Like gold, the purer it is, the more value it has. And by getting closer to that, right, then you'll understand that all those things were just things that you thought would make you more of you, right? The car would make you become this bad dude, or the money would make you have power, the etc., etc. But it doesn't actually come from that, is what I'm saying. And so yeah, maybe this is a good period for our life. If you're watching this to this point, I guess you're experiencing something of the sort, because it helps you dilute, like, let go of those illusions, those attachments you're going to be forced to, or you could live your life in misery. You have a choice here. And it's like that blue pill, red pill thing, right? You got a choice. You can pick the one where you can accept this, right, and live life in this new perspective, or you could go back to how things were. You could sit there and still be miserable about the things you don't have, right? And so the choice is yours. Thank you for watching.